intensely as I can. There we go. And I just shook this up a little bit. And I'm just going to pour it on. And I do this just to kind of get rid of anything that I might have missed during that washing process. And I'll do this whether or not I'm putting on makeup. I just kind of like it as an extra step. I also like that it doesn't dry out my skin. I think I was deterred from using toners because I think there was one or two that I had tried and it just really dried me out, and I did not like that. I have baby sensitive skin, so I can't do it, but I seem to be well wiped down. I can wipe you too with this slightly dirty cotton pad. It's actually not too dirty. My face was pretty clean to begin with. So the thing I do after that is when I let it dry a little, because I'm still slightly damp. But next I'll use some of this lotion. It's for normal to dry skin. It's a daily moisturizing lotion. I like this one because it's not too heavy, but it's also, I don't know, it does a good job moisturizing me. So I'll just rub that on and then massage into my face like this. I am gonna have to look into the viewfinder to make sure I'm actually getting my face. But I just get that everywhere. I will say the hardest part about doing my makeup is the fact that I leave my nose ring in for it. So this little sucker kind of gets in the way and I have to work around it. But I do take it out to clean it, so you would think I would just take it out to do my makeup. But no, I'm a little lazy. Anyway, just kind of make sure that's well absorbed. And I'll kind of leave it for a bit. Mostly making sure I get like under my eyes and around my mouth. For some reason, like my chin gets the driest. Anyway, would you like a little bit? I can hit you with a little tiny bit of it. Okay, we'll just put it on your forehead too. This is another step I do whether or not I'm wearing makeup, just to kind of, keep my skin in the best shape it can be. Some of those like Korean skincare regimes are like a lot more intense, but such good skin results. My skin's like, okay, it's not super picky, it just gets really dry. Anyway, so the next thing I do is I use this conditioning lip serum. This is just kind of like another pre-step I do. Oh my goodness, my hands are still a little bit wet from the lotion. I can't open it. There I go. And I just put a teeny tiny bit on. Not a ton, and I just kind of work it into my lips so that way they're conditioned as well. Just because I don't want to put lotion on my lips. So I'll just take this and work it in. Like that. There. Do you want some too? Well, I probably shouldn't use the same one. That would be kind of gross. Here. Put a little on this one. I will just work it in. Now if your lips look a little shiny at first, don't worry, that can die down a little if you don't want to look super glossy. But I like the amount of conditioning it does. It doesn't feel greasy. So the next thing I do is, because I am going to wear makeup, I'm going to put on this hydrating face primer from e.l.f. I like this one. It depends on how your skin is. It does have dimethicone, and I know some people don't like that, but I like it. It works for me. I don't wear makeup very often anyway, so if it's a product that maybe wouldn't be the best for me, it's still fine. Plus, this is super affordable, which I like. I'm all about a good deal. So I just do one pump. I don't need a whole lot. And I just kind of work it all over my face. I kind of take little globs off of here, and I just tap, tap, tap. Like that. this will just kind of help keep the foundation in place. A lot of places you don't have to wear masks anymore if you're fully vaccinated, but other places you still need to wear one, and I found that masks will take your makeup off if you don't try to keep it in place. I mean, even with a primer and a setting spray, it can still come off, but it comes off less. Okay. And a little bit on my forehead. And this isn't an exact science, and I should also mention I'm not a professional, so what works for me may not work for you, and you'll especially see I'm not a professional when it comes to doing my eyeliner, because, oh boy, I struggle. But anyway, we'll just do it like this. I have a little bit left, so I'm just going to kind of evenly divide it, and then kind of focus on the area where my mask is going to do most of the rubbing. Okay, like that. And sometimes I just like to pitter patter my fingertips on my face, and I'll kind of work it in. I like this one because it helps the makeup stick, but it doesn't make it look sticky. If that makes sense. Like, it doesn't accentuate my pores. Not that pores are a bad thing, but sometimes you want to look poreless. I don't know. Anyway, so the next thing we'll do, and I'm gonna kind of push my hair aside for this, is we're gonna use some foundation. So this is an oil-free, medium coverage, flawless satin foundation, also by e.l.f. It's in color 120 Pearl with neutral undertones. So what I do is I take this and I just put a couple of little pumps. Oh my goodness. I'm almost out. I will need to buy more. And just a little bit. I might have to cut some of that sound out because that was very aggressive pumping. But anyway, I have a little bit of my foundation here, and I just take this little beauty blender and I just pat it on. Kind of like this. And I know everybody does it a little bit differently, but this works for me, and I just roll with it. I tend not to do a super heavy amount, just enough to kind of get a general, like, evenness to my skin tone. Mostly just to hide my red cheeks, which is kind of funny because I'm gonna go and add blush later. It's like I want them red, but I don't want them too red. But anyway, I just kind of get it everywhere. It's also a lot harder doing it right here instead of in my regular, like, mirror. I have a vanity to my right, but it was gonna be difficult doing that because I wouldn't be able to film myself doing my makeup there without showing the rest of my room, and it's a little bit messy, so it's not bad. I just don't want anybody to have to see it. I can't reveal that much about me. It's mostly just some laundry. It's nothing like gross. Clean laundry too. I'm good about washing my clothes. I'm just bad about folding it and putting it away. Okay. And I'm trying to work it around my nose. Got this little piece here. Not an exact science. Not for me anyway. Just gonna work quick. Okay, I'll just kind of we'll just use the rest of this and kind of evenly distribute it. You might notice I'm not getting my eyes super closely, and that's just because I will add a little bit of concealer afterwards. Pat, 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 pat. Okay, use the rest of it here. Pat, 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 pat. Just like that, and make sure we blend into our neck. That way it's not a totally different color. Just like that. There, do you want some? Just a pat, 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 pat. Like that. Okay, what I'm gonna have to do is go away briefly because I think I got a hair somewhere on my face. And I'm like trying to gently get it, but I need to go look like in a mirror to find it. It's like a really fine hair. So, I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. It was a really tricky little hair. So, the next thing I do is I like to take this Hydrating Camo Concealer, also Satin Finish by e.l.f., and I'll just put a teeny tiny bit under my eyes and a little on my chin, a tiny bit on my goes on really, really thick. And like it's a lot paler than I am, even though I'm like kind of pale. But I'm just gonna do a tiny little boop, boop. And for me, a little bit goes a long, long way. Like I see some videos where people do like the big swipes, and I'm like, if I do that, I start looking real whack. Boop, and then boop, 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 like that. And I honestly just take my finger and kind of rub it in like that. I probably could have done a little more, but that's the thing, you can always add more. It's hard to take it away once it's on. Like that. And a little bit, and then work it up. Work it up, work it up, and then a little bit on the forehead. Probably could use a beauty blender for this, but for some reason I just really like using my finger. There. Sometimes the difference is more subtle on camera, but I can tell when I do it in person. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use this loose setting powder. Sometimes I do this step and sometimes I don't. It kind of depends for me on the weather. So if it's a hotter day, I will use it because I'm already looking kind of dewy, and I don't want to say greasy, but like I'm looking a little greasier. So I'm just gonna use this because I'm already gonna get kind of hot. And I don't use a ton. I actually need to shake more of this out. So I'm just gonna gently close this and tilt it upside down a bit to get some of it to come into the tray. I don't know if that's what you're actually supposed to do. I'm gonna be honest, my mom never taught me how to do makeup. It was just things I learned on the internet, and who knows if that person was right. They say not to trust anything on the internet, or just because you read it on the internet, it's not true. So, who knows? But I just put a little bit on my cheeks. I don't like doing too much because then I feel like it can make me look extra dry. I just do a little bit to kind of mattify it a little bit and keep me from looking super shiny. I mean, I know I could probably, use a foundation or a concealer that would mattify to begin, but sometimes I want to look dewy, and it's easier for me to take away the extra shine than it is to add a little extra shine without getting glittery. Just take a little bit more and then get my forehead like so. So it's not a super extreme makeup look. I don't typically contour or anything. I used to a little, and maybe sometimes I will from time to time, but I tend not to, honestly. So we'll just put this here. Oh, would you like some too? Are you feeling a little too dewy? Okay. Pat, 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 pat. We'll just swipe it and wipe it. There. Now you won't get too matte. Pop. Okay. So the next thing I do, because I took most of the color from my face, I will add a teeny tiny bit of blush. This is the Bare Minerals Gen Nude Blush in color, I'm assuming, Call My Blush. It has a shelf life of 12 months after I open it. Did you know makeup expires? Yeah. I did not know that for the longest time. I never looked at that little expiration date. And so I had to go and throw out some makeup. I mean, it's not like it's probably not gonna kill you, but it's not gonna be as good. So I just take this little brush, and I get a teeny tiny bit, not a ton. And I'll just kind of take it in the top corners right here. And I'll do just a little bit more because I was very light. crazy amount, just hairs. Just a little. Like that. Ta-da. So it's not super intense, but it's still there. It's enough to give me like a little color. Okay, so the next thing is I'm going to do my eyeliner. Now, the hard part about this is, for me, it's very much like a multiple attempt kind of thing. Sometimes the first go, it looks wacky, or I have to compare them and try to get them similar. My eyes are two slightly different shapes. So, my wrist just popped really loud. I don't know if you heard that. But my eyes are two slightly different shapes. So, it's hard to get the wings just right because I like doing a winged look. But anyway, I use the liquid e.l.f. eyeliner in color black, and I'm just going to very carefully kind of do a wing. I'll show you on one eye, and then I will struggle to do the other one off camera so that way you don't have to suffer. I'll try as best as I can, but bear with me. So I'm just gonna get this kind of... I had two on my vanity, and I think I grabbed the one that's empty. Why I didn't throw out the empty one, I couldn't tell ya. I just don't think I thought about it. So what I do is I kind of draw a line out towards the end of my eyebrow, and then I'll connect it in. And then I'll fill it in. I found it's a lot easier to start from the outside and work your way in than it is to like start from the inside and work your way out. If you do winged eyeliner, let me know what you do. It's a little more difficult than it looks, and I can't talk while I do it. Oh my goodness, I'm also doing this much further away from the mirror than I normally do. But you get the gist of it, and then I'll kind of connect. From the inside like that. Okay, I'm gonna go do the rest of this off camera and fix it, but you kind of got the idea. Otherwise, I'm gonna struggle. I'm gonna just keep struggling, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. They're not totally even, but they are close enough that I'm just gonna roll with it. They're more like, I don't know, sisters or cousins than they are twins, and that's okay. As long as they're like in the same ballpark, I don't really care. Anyway, so the next thing I do are my eyebrows. So I have this Brow Ultra Slim 1.5mm defining pencil. It's in the color soft brown, so even though my eyebrows are actually really dark, if I use a dark like brow pencil, it actually makes them look especially dark. And since my eyebrows are already thick to begin with, I don't want them to then look extra dark and extra thick. It is a look for some, but it's not the look I always want. So I use the brow brush on the other side first to kind of get my hairs into place, since my eyebrow hairs are admittedly a little long. I'll trim them a little, but not a bunch. And now I'll take this and I'll just gently go across my eyebrow to kind of fill in these like smaller patches. And I'll just kind of build on it and it'll fill out. Kind of like that. It's also kind of hard to see in this camera. I think I'm getting a little crazy with my coloring, but that's fine. I can fix it afterwards too. This isn't necessarily a final look. And even if it was, you know, makeup's just a way to express yourself. I'm comfortable leaving the house without it. I usually do. But on my weekends, when I have the extra time, it's kind of fun. was in high school though, I was a lot more insecure. And I felt like I had to have makeup of some kind on, even if it was a foundation or, you know, I didn't have to be like a whole makeup look, but I felt like I needed some, even if it's just mascara or something. Like, I just felt like I needed it. But now I'm kind of like, meh. It's cool if I have it. It's fine if I don't. Okay, well, this will just have to do. I've been meaning to spruce up my eyebrows again, but I haven't. Alright, like that. Do you want yours drawn on too? I don't go super thick. Some people just shave their eyebrows off and draw them on each day. I couldn't do that. I don't have the patience to do that. I would just go eyebrowless, probably, at that point. I figure as long as you own the look, then who cares? There you go. Okay, so my eyebrows are filled in a little bit more. Not super dark, but just enough that it doesn't look as, like, empty, I guess. And the next thing I'm going to do is eyeshadow. Now, sometimes I will use an eyeshadow primer over my eyelid, and that just kind of gives you, like, a good blank canvas to work off of. But I often skip that step anyway. I just don't feel like it. So I have with me this Sweet Talk pressed powder palette. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 colors in it. Or 3 by 4 or 4 by 3, which 3 times 4 is 12, as we learned in that math video I did. Anyway, so I popped this open. It's by ColourPop, and it says, "You're pretty." Thanks. Anyway, so what I will do is I'll actually use color Catch Me as kind of like a base color, and I'll just take it across my whole eyelid, like so. I don't use a lot, it's just kind of, I guess, kind of to fill the same role as a primer would, to just have kind of like the same color everywhere to work off of. I don't go super crazy with my eyeshadow typically. Like, I might do a little pink or a little brown. I kind of keep it to the nudes. I don't have the bravery to go much bolder than that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of this color West Side. It's like a light brown. And I'm just going to kind of dip into it. And I'm just going to cover my whole lid. So with that other one, I was doing my lid and a bit of my brow bone. This one, I'm just going to go on my eyelid and kind of take it across like that and blend it out. Just keep blending, just keep blending. Like that. And I'll take a little bit more for the other side. And phew. Oh, that went on very pigmented. Okay, and now I'll take this blurring eyeshadow brush and just kind of blend it out at the edges. What you can do to help with that is take some of that other color from before, that Catch Me, and blend it as well. Blend it into the edges up there. Like that. Okay, so it's kind of like a pop of color, but it's not super, super intense. And I'll just kind of keep blending a little. Like that. Cool. Sometimes I'll just do the one color. Sometimes if I'm feeling it, I'll add like a bit of pink to like the corner. But honestly, I might just roll with this. I'm thinking though, I'm gonna do this more sparkly one. It's called Side to Side. And I'm just actually gonna hit a little bit of that in the corner right here. Not a bunch, but just enough to give it a little bit of a sparkle. subtle look. It's not like gonna blind you with the glitter, but it's just enough that it's there, and that's what I'm going for. Like I said, I'm not brave enough to do a super bold look. That's about as bold as I get with it, unless I'm like really feeling it. So the next thing I do, sorry, I also keep looking down because I have my makeup lined up in the order that I do everything so I don't forget something. But the next thing I have is this mascara. This is the It Lash Blowout. I have like a couple different mascaras that I rotate through. So I'm just gonna give this one a shot. I like this one. I feel like it's pretty volumizing. My biggest problem, I do have long lashes. They just sit really flat. So I usually use an eyelash curler, and I had one, but I broke it a while back. I actually broke it like on camera. But I have not bought a new one since. Okay, so I just kind of do a couple of like psh, 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 like that. I'll do the other side now. When it comes to expired makeup, I feel like I'm the most strict about ones that go like on my skin or on my eyes like a mascara. Just because I don't want to get like an infection in my eye. Like eyeshadows or blushes or like a brow brush, I'm a little more flexible on just because I'm like, meh, nobody's really gonna like, I feel like it won't make that big of a difference. Like it might get chunky and it might not perform as well, but I'm less worried about something going like bad. Okay, and then I honestly do a teeny tiny bit on the bottom lashes, not a bunch, but just a little bit. Like that. Oh, do you want some too? Okay, we'll give you a little bit. We'll just go like this and like this. I promise I won't poke your eye out. I'll be really, really gentle. Like this. And there you go. Okay, closing this up. Honestly, if I like scooch my eyelashes up like this, it like kind of curls them as the mascara dries. So I just do this. I don't use fake lashes. There's nothing wrong with them. I think I tried them on once and they were really heavy and I just didn't enjoy it. So I just do mascara and I call it good. There. They've like perked up a little. My fingers got a bit of the mascara on them, but that's fine. I can wipe it away on my little, what do you call it? Oh my goodness, the little cotton pad that I used my toner on. I'll just kind of wipe away that excess. Okay, so we're just about done. The last thing that I'm gonna do, well, second to last thing that I'm gonna do is I'm going to add a setting spray. This is the e.l.f. Makeup Mist and Set. As you can tell, I use this brand a lot. Like it's pretty affordable. It's just like a drugstore brand, but I feel like I get the most bang for my buck and it works for me, so I like it. But I'll just spray this on my face. Don't need a bunch, and I just kind of like air dry it. You can like dry it with like a sponge, you know, like with a little beauty blender, but I like just giving it a little air dry. It's also kind of refreshing. That just kind of helps keep everything in place. And then the last thing that I do is I like to add a like lip balm or lip gloss or something. This is the Milk Makeup Kush Lip Balm. Don't worry, it won't get me high. And it's in color Bubble, so this is like a slightly tinted lip balm, which I like because it's not super intense, but it's enough to just give it a little bit of color. So I'm just gonna put that on. face is still a little wet from the setting spray, but it'll fade. Okay, and that's what I do for my makeup. Next, I'll go and like take care of my hair, which I'll do like off camera and stuff, but this is kind of what I do. If I do any variations, it's